Hey, what's up, and welcome back to another episode of the Relationship Schools podcast. I'm your host, Jayson Gaddis, here with my lovely wife,
Ellen Boeder.
Yes. What's up, Ellen? Yeah, it's been an intense year. We're winding down.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we are.
Yeah. Thanks for coming back on.
Yes, my pleasure. Always. It's fun to do with you.
Yeah, we wanted to talk about a problem we see with couples and what to do about it. So we're going to offer you 4 questions here shortly, but we want to set up the problem here the way we see it, which is a lot of couples don't have a purpose of being together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a purpose, a context, a shared understanding of what is our relationship for, why are we committing to each other?
Yeah, and so when the times get tough and challenges come, they lose sight of their why because maybe there isn't one, or they forgot, and it can be really scary and disheartening when you lose sense of your why you're with someone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or you haven't maybe consciously put into words a substantial why. Like,
yeah,
a lot of people will be like, well, but I love you, and that's why I'm with you. And it's really
right.
So not like enough in a way. Love is enough, but because we have all such different ideas about what that means, and we need more. We just need more of a shared understanding of what we're about, especially when things get challenging.
Yeah. Love, like Ellen's saying, it is enough in this kind of macro scale of like, of course, you love this person, but when they become increasingly difficult and your conflicts become really difficult, you're starting to not love them, and you're starting to see them as the enemy or really challenging, and it just gets very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can't just rest in, well, hey, we love each other, right? That's enough. We keep seeing that that's not enough, actually, to hold 2 people together. There needs to be more than that.
Yeah, so that's what we're here to help with.
Totally. Yeah, and it's understandable, by the way, if you don't have a real significant why, because maybe you relied on your vows. Maybe your why is, hey, well, we made these vows years ago, and they're really great. But as I recorded in a previous podcast about vows, you should check that one out. I sort of
what did you say?
Challenged the listener to go a little deeper than just searching for vows off the internet. I mean, like, what do other people say? And then just kind of regurgitating maybe the more traditional vows, till death do us part. And,
I'm like, I don't even know what those are.
That kind of vibe. It's like, no.
Right.
Your vows should be things like, hey, when the shit hits the fan, we are completely committed to each other, and we will learn everything we can about conflict and working through that challenge. That's a vow that I would rather have you have. Okay. Okay. So let's dive into these 4 questions. They're very straightforward. It's why, what, where, and how. And we're going to unpack each one of these. Mm-hmm. So why?
So the first one is, why are you in a relationship? Why are we together?
Yeah. Why are we together? Well, let's see. I fell in love with you many years ago, and we got married, and we had kids, and I don't know, because, it starts to get really hard. Why people are like, I don't know, actually, why am I with you? Because I should be, or because my culture said you stay married to someone now because you made a commitment?
Because I've been here so long?
Yeah, because I don't know who I am without you.
Because I don't know who else I'd be with.
Because I don't know what else to do if I didn't have you. You can see that it starts to become pretty unexamined in there. So why are you together? Why are you here in this relationship?
Yeah, and one way to think of it is, we want your why to be big enough that when life gets hard, whether it's your relationship or not that gets hard, when life gets hard and you're leaning on each other, or you're hopefully going to each other for support and connection, you have a context for how to do that.
Yeah.
And why would we stay together? Why would we commit to each other for decades, not knowing what's coming our way, not knowing who we're going to be in 10 or 20 years? We have to have a bigger reason, because this day and age, we don't have to stay married. There isn't major social, I'm not going to get like sent away to another country if we get divorced, or, I am, we have lots of financial options now, and there's just different things that men and women don't have to be married forever.
Yeah.
So
there's a freedom.
Still not easy to separate. I'm not saying that, but we have we have a lot more room than we've had. So we need a bigger why for what would be the purpose of trying to work through things that are challenging, trying to come together and collaborate when that's not easy to do for years and years on end. We need to have a bigger purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. And my favorite metaphor is just imagine a boat out in the middle of the ocean, and you two are out there, way out there. And when the storms come and you haven't really decided, wait, who's doing what on this boat, you kind of forget about your why, and you want to go back. You want to go back to the shore and bag it. You want to throw in the towel on this crazy adventure that you're doing together called life. So, but if you are out there and you're like, oh yeah, why we're out here? We love adventure. We love the ocean. We love exploring things, and we love doing it together, not alone. It starts to orient you back into your why.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's awesome if it's something that you just personally as an individual believe in. Yeah. Like if I really believe that my reason for being with you is bigger than me and bigger than us, and that we both share that, that's very substantial. Very substantial.
Yeah. One hint you could move toward, because you're listening to this podcast, is your why we're together is to grow. That's a common one that some of our students adopt, which is we just want to grow and become who we are and learn about ourselves in the context of an intimate partnership. That's really significant. So that when times get tough, you can go, why am I doing this again? Oh, I want to grow. Oh, right. Okay, yeah, I need to grow through this. I need to learn about myself and this other person through this challenge.
Yeah. Always good to weave that one in there.
Yeah. Okay. Question number 2.
What are you wanting out of your relationship?
Yeah. What are you wanting? Are you wanting to grow? Are you wanting a family? Are you wanting monogamy? What are you wanting? Do you want to just be a couple and create a community around your friends and have other friends that are couples, or maybe you're not going to have kids, but maybe you're pet owners, and your what is like, we want to be awesome stewards of animals, and we want to co-create that together and raise this little puppy together, and that's kind of what we're about. That's great.
Yeah. And I think intimacy is another part of that. Like, what kind of relationship do you want? Do you want a lot of depth? Do you want a lot of, do you want to really know each other on a deep level? Do you want to have a lot of individual room to explore your own lives and worlds separately? Do you want to do a lot of that together? What balance there do you want?
Yeah. A couple of years ago, I recorded a podcast called The 3 Types of Marriage. It's also a YouTube video if you want to Google that. And it's, like Ellen's saying, are we together? What type of relationship? Do we want one that's comfort and security seeking? Do we want to just have fun together? Or do we want to grow together? And those can be 3 orientations that can be really helpful. Because if you want growth and I just want to have fun, we might have some challenges when the storms come.
Right.
Because it's not always fun. Yeah. This can also you can start to lay out your expectations, and what do we want around our sexuality? Yeah. Our sex connection. What's that look like?
Yeah. All good things to talk about.
Question number 3, where do you want to go? Yeah. So if we're out in the ocean, do you want to go left and I want to go right? If we don't agree upon where we're headed, it's going to create conflict. And that's not the problem itself. It's how do we navigate that you want to go left and I want to go right? How do we deal with that? Which gets into point 4. But where do we want to go? It's amazing how many people are not that aligned in terms of the direction they want to go. right? In their
Definitely.
partnership.
Well, on all of these, they haven't been fully explored. And so why we're bringing this up is because we see people having arguments and a lot of struggles around topics that this stuff is really the root of. They don't have a shared why. They don't have a shared reality around what they both want and where they're going. And so there's a lot of arguments and tension and frustration with each other and the relationship. But so much of that is based on not having really worked this bigger stuff out, because then all those other pieces do start to get really convoluted and difficult.
Yeah. And if you're single and you're listening, hopefully just a sidebar here, that you are thinking about the next kind of relationship you want to be in.
Yeah.
Or your closest relationship, your closest friendship. Maybe it's time to bring in these kind of questions into your closest friendship. This is also totally welcome here. Yeah. So just get clear on where do you guys want to go. And it can be an actual literal place. Like, we want to travel the world. We want to move to California. We want to move out of California.
Right. We want to start a business. We want to,
Yeah. There's so much to explore. Right. We want to become organic farmers. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Question 4.
How will you operate? How are you going to get there? What's your way? What's your how?
What are the terms?
What are the terms? What are your kind of, what are the ideas that are holding you around how you're going to treat each other, how you're going to handle conflict, how you're going to handle differences, how you're going to negotiate and collaborate to get to a place where you both feel good about all the decisions you're making.
Yeah. How are you going to do home? How are you going to do family? How are you going to do the holidays? How are you going to navigate your financial circumstances and situation? You have debt, I have money, vice versa. How do we navigate that? How should we talk about this? How do we address this? When something comes up that's really challenging with one of us, what is our kind of go-to approach? Do we go to couples coaching? Do we just stay up and chat through it? Do we get support from friends? Like, what's our how? Yeah. And this one I think is really, really important in terms of back to our metaphor. How do we want to travel? Well, how about if I just sit on my ass in this boat and you paddle the whole time? How about that?
I can do that. I'm super strong. No, that won't work, obviously, for very long.
Yeah, or you could do it, and then she's going to resent me over time.
Actually,
I'll be like, hey, can you have me another beer?
You need to help out, dude.
Yeah. So when we're traveling in a boat, it's that would be a very important question, don't you think? How are we going to do this? And what are we going to do when the storms hit? And how should we navigate? How should we just navigate? Do you want to have the map and I'll have the compass, or should I just delegate that to you? Are we going to divide up roles? What about when we have a family? Should I raise the kids, or do you want to do that? These are all it's amazing to me how many of these are unexamined.
I know. And it maybe takes, I think people don't do this because it starts to take the romance, the fun out of just the fun of being connected and being together. But this is a super creative and exciting process of really getting to know each other in a whole nother way, because you're going to have to deal with all these things if you're going to be together for a long time. It's just, you are running you're running your lives together. You're the CEOs of your lives, and you're sharing that, and you want to have a really deep understanding and an ongoing way to check in on that. I think the questions here, I think the why can be pretty consistent as well as the how. But I think the what do you want and where are we going, those two evolve a little more potentially. Those might change more over time. And so you want to have something you start with and that you keep coming back to. Yeah. I mean, don't you think? As we change and grow, and our why might get even way more powerful. I feel like ours has, as we've had kids and just the years we're together, our why keeps getting stronger for me.
Yeah, me too.
And our how keeps getting more refined, and we keep getting better at how we're handling each other. But I think what do you want and where are you going? Those are, as a couple, are really cool things to just geek out on. And we think that's as fun, but I get that a lot of people would maybe shy away from it because it might bring up conflict. It might bring up things you haven't thought about or don't know yet, or things that didn't go well in previous relationships. But it's okay to be unsure or nervous about it and still explore it together.
Yeah. I mean, we're asking you to stay very awake here.
Yes.
And wakefulness is not always easy sometimes, right? Like when we, over the years, we've gotten more awake around our finances, for example. And, but sometimes it's like, I'd rather hit the snooze button, in some of these spreadsheet conversations. And it's so essential. It's gotten us more and more empowered in that part of our life. And just like any part of your life, your relationship is, sometimes you might need a spreadsheet, or you might need some bullet points or some journals out to actually nerd out on this stuff, to be like, hey, wait, are we aligned?
Right.
And in terms of number 4, this how, we find that this is a great place to bring in agreements. Cool. Well, let's have 3 kind of standard agreements that operate kind of as guardrails or boundaries in our relationship.
Yeah.
We agree to, enter coaching if we really need support. We agree to never scream and yell at each other. We agree to, this kind of thing.
Yeah.
We will stay in the conversation no matter how long it takes with conflict. That we'll always come back and repair. Those are agreements that you can put in your how.
Yeah.
Strengthen it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we need agreements, because these things aren't easy to do, to help us when things are hard, right? Especially around conflict or complex life issues. We need some things we've thought about when we're clear-headed and less stressed, that we believe in, that make sense to us, and that help us show up for the thing that's hard. It's like studying for the test that, who wants to study, but you want to do well. It's like, it's those kinds of practices, like to be prepared for challenges, because they are out there.
Yeah, they're coming. Just around the corner.
Coming.
Yeah. All right, cool. So why, what, where, how? We're hoping these orient you a little bit in this new year as you set your sail and chart new waters here with your relational life. And I find that there's just a good, simple framework, that you can use.
Yeah.
And we're inviting couples into this when we work with couples. And this is part of our couples coaching training for our coaches. This is important stuff. So dig in, have a purpose. Have a shared purpose.
Definitely.
Yeah. And thanks again for listening. 4 million downloads is crazy. And it's really cool that you guys all listen.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome that you are the type of humans that care about love and relationships.
Yeah. It's a good fit.
And if you want the latest training, that's free, no charge. Come hang out with me at relationshipschool.com/training. And we'll see what we have in store for you. But show up and ask me a question. We'll dig in. It's going to be fun. Thanks, Ellen, for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks so much for listening. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Share one of these videos with a friend. We want to help the planet get their act together around relationships. And you are one of them, so thank you.